I have one more potentially quick call for us to try to address, and that's Guy in Georgia. And then there's a call that may be longer that may run us past. So, Guy, welcome to the show. How can JMike and I help you?
Yes, sir. Glad to finally talk with you, Matt. Anyway, I'll try to make this short, even though I would like to say, and I'd like to call in again perhaps and just say that, yes, I'm a Southern Baptist minister's son, and I'm also homosexual, and I'm also becoming an atheist, and so there's lots of drama, and also going to be 60 years old next month, so there you go.
Awesome. I'd love to talk to you again about other stuff, but let's try and knock this out because
let's try to knock this out. Okay, my last hole to eternal life. Let's knock this out. Okay, let's go yes or no. The universe. I have a strong science background. The universe is about 14.5 billion years old, so let's round that up to 15 billion. Yes or no? Or at least we think so.
I think it's 13.7, so I'd round it up to 14, but I don't think a billion here or there really is going to make much difference to the argument.
Yes, exactly. So let's just say that if you're lucky, you're going to live. We can I'll say this: we're all going to live to be about 100 years old, barring something unforeseen in the next 100, 200 years.
Sure.
That's our lifespan, only about 100 years. Okay. So if you divide 15 billion by 100 years, that's I believe 150 million. It's our ratio of 100. That's a lot. So we've been our lifespans are infinitesimally short. But let's say that you and I are talking one-on-one. You know that we're both sentient. We've been sentient for as long as we can tell, and for as long as we can tell, it's just our little lifespans. We also know that the universe is probably going to be around for trillions of more years. In other words, the universe is relatively young. So there's infinitesimally long periods of time we're talking about. My argument is, and it could be a straw man, I think it probably is, that's why I want to hold on to eternal life, is that since we are sentient now, and the chances are there's the only life we're going to get.
You're breaking up.
Your phone is completely breaking up, and I'm missing it. But let me do this. First of all, there are problems with your math, and that is that human beings have existed for about 300,000 years, and prior to that, human beings couldn't exist. And so even if let's cut the life expectancy from 100 years to 50 years so that we average it out, which means at 50 years, each human being is going to experience roughly 1/6000th of the entire period of time that humans could exist. Okay, what's the point?
The point is, there might be something scientifically we don't know about that can get us to some sort of a Hindu type way of.
Why should we care about there might be something that might be able to get us to something maybe like this?
Just scientifically.
That's not science. No. If you walked into any scientific discipline to give a paper and you said there might be something that might maybe get us to something like this, you would not be doing science.
Oh, I'd be laughed out of there. You're very correct, sir, about that. Yes.
Yeah, you would just be providing conjecture with nothing else to substantiate it, which is not science.
Nothing to substantiate. Right. Okay. Yet, of course, if you go back to let's say the 17th century, nobody had a clue as to what electricity was. So there might be something else out there that we have no way of.
Well, no, let's use that example. If we had attributed it to some magical thing, we would have been wrong, right? If we filled that gap of our knowledge with something that we have no basis for.
We did that.
We would be wrong. Yeah, and we did do that. And we do that a lot.
Zeus. It was Zeus that hurled lightning bolts down. That was our explanation for electricity. The
Yeah,
time to
right.
believe something is after there's evidence for it. And so the time to believe and have an understanding of electricity is after we have demonstrated what it is. And so if in fact there's
Okay,
maybe something, then the time to believe it is after you've demonstrated.
I'll wrap this up in one sentence. There is no evidence at all for anything to do with life's transference. But that's pretty much what I'm talking about.
Hey, which I'm not aware of any evidence, and so I would generally agree with you. And now we're back to what happened with the first or second call today. But I gotta let you go, guy, because there's one more call I want to get to before we close this out. But I appreciate it, and call us back when you get something firmer.
Yes,
There we go.